अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन So we'll just few points on Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There is his appearance day. Just try to discuss about Bhaktivinoda Thakur a little bit. Just spend some time because such an important day for all of us. What is the speciality of Bhaktivinoda Thakur? The Bhaktivedanta Thakur says that he has explained bhakti in a different way. So that is the first thing that happened. So first thing, I'll tell the story that Bhaktivinoda Thakur he gets a dream. He gets a dream that Indra is waiting one after another to break the vicious cycle of samsara, and they came to they came to the island of Godrumdeep. So and the person commits an offense, he becomes even more proud, and the pride person increases as a result of insults. So just a second. So what happens is the pride increases. Pride is a kind of mechanism inside that what happens, and nobody can come out of it on his own. It actually he project himself outside a very large, very this is basically what happens. I'll not go detail, but I want to explain this pastime because what happens is in Srimad Bhagavatam about Daksha and also many things. Now, when Bhaktivinoda Thakur comes and Gaurang Mahaprabhu comes into this world to help us break this cycle, he comes here. He says, "Everything I do without insults." Because anyway, I'll just add this point also. Because pride is nothing but outward manifestation of the inferiority complex that we have. That is very simple. Inferiority complex people have, it is manifested as pride. And when a person commits these offenses, Jiva Goswami explains that when the pride starts growing, he will become more and more. And this is actually what happened to Daksha in Srimad Bhagavatam. He committed offense to Shiva and his head was chopped off. And he got a goat head. He began to ask forgiveness with the same note. But the next time, again in his next life, again he commits offense to Narada Muni. Because the tendency does not go. It is a symbol of nothing but I. Now Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that when Indra committed all these offenses, he also committed. That's why he comes to Godrumdeep. Go means cow, Druma means a tree under whom the cow has taken shelter. That's how one of the meaning is. Bhaktivinoda Thakur stayed at Godrumdeep. He has the house named Swanana Sukadakunj. And Godrumdeep is famous for Surabhi Kunj, where Nityananda Prabhu started his preaching there. And Now, what happens is Bhaktivinoda Thakur says all these offenses in order to somehow break this vicious cycle. Because when I commit offenses, there is always a chance that we'll commit more offenses. 100% chance that we'll repeat it. So we need to break this, and that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared to help us to get rid of this. And everything we do, it should be free from insulted. Therefore, especially offenses. And here, this Navadvip where Bhaktivinoda Thakur stayed. Actually, in Navadvip there is a place where we go and ask. I think that place is where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes. After he takes sannyas, he goes to Navadvip. Then all the people who are insulted him, they come and they ask for forgiveness. And this is one of the understanding of the place. Now, Indra also goes. What is the thing that happens asking forgiveness? Forgiveness is actually one type of repentance only. Asceticism is also one type of repentance, and which will help a person to it will help a person to come out of it. Sorry. So this Godrum Deep is actually Nandagaon of Vrindavan. And anyway, I didn't start on Limbati class.
Yeah, Prabhuji, but you said the word pride is an external manifestation of inferiority complex. This is what new Prabhuji. I thought it is because of the superiority complex that pride manifests, but you said the word. I just want to know what it means.
Inferiority complex is also pride. Superiority complex. Both are actually, there is a systematic error in the system. Both are pride only. Inferiority complex is also pride only. If somebody is behaving, na, I'm very low, what can I do? I cannot do anything. That is also one type of pride only. Both are manifestations of pride.
Okay.
Right. Anyway, so what happens is this Nityanand Prabhu, he actually started this Namhatta. No, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he settled at this place. And for several years, he searched for a copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita. After many years, he gets. And it is said that it is almost 200 years after Baldev Vidyabhushan in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Not a single philosophical book was written after Baldev. Yeah, Kalpana Mata is to get praising or fame or respect out of inferiority complex manifest in front of pride. Yeah, that is also. Now, this is very interesting. See, for 200 years now, no philosophical book was written after Baldev Vidyabhushan. Baldev Vidyabhushan's one of the main work is Govinda Bhasha. After that also he has written some books. And now, because and that is the last person who explained the Siddhanta, the Shastra. And after 200 years, it was like dark night for Gaudiya Vaishnavism. And people have forgotten who is Krishna also, what to speak of. Because there is little, of course, Krishna means they didn't have the philosophical understanding. If somebody is trying to practice bhakti, this is work of our heart. It is to clean the heart. Now, but what happened is the process got degradation because there is no philosophy. 200 years is such a big time. Like 60 years of independence, 75 years of independence we have. 200 years is such a big time, and that too when there is no social media or anything to save material work. So it's quite a difficult time. Now, under the guise of bhakti, so many wrong things happened, especially in Bengal. And in the end, even decent people, they also don't want to do anything with bhakti. They said, oh, this Chaitanya followers and Vaishnavas, it's all very wrong. Now, that time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he called Vaishnava, and a Vaishnava is considered as a abuse in Bhaktivinoda Thakur time. That Vaishnava means he is not a decent person. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he first heard about Chaitanya Charitamrita, he hears from Raja Rammohan Rai's mother. Raja Rammohan Rai was preaching Arya Samaj, who was against Vedas. And all the Brahmanas, they decided to kill him. So the followers of Raja Rammohan Rai comes to Bhaktivinoda Thakur to settle the matter, come for a compromise. Bhaktivinoda Thakur goes and he settles the matter because he was a very respectable person that time. That is the time when he meets Raja Rammohan Rai's mother, and she was the devotee of Lord Chaitanya. He wanted to know Lord Chaitanya. It took almost 4 to 6 years for him to get Chaitanya Charitamrita. And when he read Chaitanya Charitamrita first time, he started some appreciation to the personality of Chaitanya. And then when he read second time, he says that I realized that there was no greater Pandit in the history of India. But still he could not understand why such a great Pandit worshipped Krishna. He understood Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is great Pandit, but he was saying why he is worshipping Krishna. So, because this is worshipped by all these dubious people who are doing. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself writes, then I began to pray that God would reveal to me how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a man of impeded reputation, can worship Krishna. That is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's question himself. Now, after thinking, everything became clear because Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And because Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it was during the Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it was not understandable, far from understanding by people. By the for several weeks he prays until Krishna finally from within reveals the truth to him. Suddenly the whole concept of Krishna, everything is understood. Of course, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it's an eternal Leela, is Kamala Manjari. But he gives this nice story for us that how he was also getting down, how by reading, and he's very scholarly, he's very intelligent of his times. He's so intelligent that just by writing one time he became a magistrate. Just without any preparation, he could write exam. And British government has to acknowledge his greatness. The highest position any Indian can get in the British Raj was they can become a deputy magistrate. Not only that, that time there is no cabs that come to your house to pick you up, pick and drop from office. But for Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that's why they made a railway track only for his house. That means they really appreciated what this person is. Now he is not any sentimental person. He's really very philosophical, very intelligent. And before this, before becoming Krishna conscious, that Leela, he wrote many other books also. His friends were all these, what do you call, I forgot who wrote Janaganman. Yeah, whatever, Rabindranath Tagore. He was very close with Tagore families. And it is said that if he would not have become a devotee, he would have become the first Prime Minister of India. He was so intelligent. But he chose not to go in that direction. Now, he is also telling, I also doubted how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is such a great person, because the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so pure. He was such a perfect sannyasi without any dot in his character. And he's thinking how he is worshipping Krishna, because Krishna worship was And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they were born in Ulagram. It is in Bengal, and their family who established the city of Calcutta. They started their family immigrating. They were very rich business people. The pet animals for all the members of Bhaktivinoda Thakur was elephants. To keep one elephant, you need so much money. And everybody used to keep pet animals like elephants only. They are so rich. But because cholera, whole village got destroyed. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur immediately, their family becomes very poor. But their ancestors, the people who established the city of Calcutta, they started the immigrating, they made business and they grew it like. Now, after that, he comes to the city and he works very hard he becomes a store manager and so many other things are there. I will not take, you might have heard it many times. Now, what happens is Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he read, he did not even himself believe that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is worshipping. But then when he prayed, suddenly the whole concept of Krishna, the understanding of what Krishna is, and the whole beauty of Krishna has been revealed to him from within. And he says that the moment it happened, I felt a strong attachment for Krishna. Since then, I have read only about Krishna and about Chaitanya. Everything else has lost its taste. And he says everything and lost interest in anything. Bhaktivinoda Thakur not only discovered himself, he discovered hundreds and he made it available and changed the heart, and he gave this type of realization and understanding for thousands and millions of people. Even now, we read Bhaktivinoda Thakur prayers and songs and Yashomati Nandan and so many things, remember. And he is the one who restored the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and because of which Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur established 64 Gaudiyamats, and then Prabhupada established all this ISKCON and all. The blueprint is from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He managed to do it, and Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur never considered Bhaktivinoda Thakur as an ordinary person, because it is very easy to see an ordinary person lived, and he used to become very sick very frequently, and he was married and had 13 children, 8 sons. Out of 8 sons, only 2 became, there are devotees, but 2 only became very serious. He was a judge in the British government. He had many enemies also. He wrote books. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur always called his father as Thakur Mahashay. Understood? He is not an ordinary person. And he says that he said because he knew that he is not a father, he is Thakur Mahashay, the soul that is sent directly by Krishna. And that's why he could do so many extraordinary activities. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is not born in Vaishnava family. He is born in Shakta family. They are all worshippers of Shaktas in this house. No, he is not aware of Lord Chaitanya. There are people worshipping. They thought Vaishnavas are all these sentimental people. And all these. That time I was telling that for 200 years there are no philosophical book written only. So everything was almost degraded. All these Apasampradayas, 13 Apasampradayas used to flourish. It is said that Krishna Babaji, he was servant of Bhaktivinoda Thakur for many, many years. He served him. And he said once Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had a dream. It was not a dream. Actually, Bhaktivinoda Thakur it's a half sleep. It is revealed to him that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is flying through the sky in some area, and it was not in this world. Then he went to Emeraj, and around Emeraj, the great Mahajans gathered. There is Narada Muni and many others. They sat there and they were puzzled over 2 verses that are from Bhagavad Gita. And they wanted to understand what is these 2 verses from Bhagavad Gita. All the Mahajans are sitting along with Yamaraj, Narada Muni, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur goes there. And what are the 2 verses? Apichetu suduracharo bhajate ma mananyama sadureva samantavya samyak vivistoisa Kshipram bhavati dharmatma sasya shantimi gacchati kaunte pratijanehi namami. So these are 9.30 and 9.31. So the two verses they're trying to discuss. These verses says that even if a person performs the most disgusting acts, he is still a sadhu because he is devoted to me. And further, it is said that very soon such a person becomes uh, he is a duratma and he finds peace in himself. Now they didn't. Uh, there is some strange thing in this. What he says that it seems that a person is already a devotee, is devotee of Krishna, that he has completely devoted himself to him, and it turned out that he still did not find peace because second shloka says that he will become righteous and he will attain peace. Now, because he is already devotee of Krishna, that means he should have already peace. So why it is telling that he will become peaceful? So then bhakti is that which immediately gives peace. It's already devotee. That's what Krishna is telling, right? Uh, Previous shloka still apichetu durasaro bhajate mam ananyavak. He's already bhajate. That means he's already devotee. He has peace. And next shloka shikram bhavati dharmatma shashya shantini. The bhakti which immediately gives as and immediately the what is the dharma? So then everything comes at once, even if it's apichetu sudurachara. Now Emraj could not understand, Narada also could not understand. Krishna says no one could understand. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur comes there. They all stood up out of respect for Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur is Kamal Manjari, he's above all of them, he's Manjari only. And then he says that Krishna says, very soon such a person will find peace. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, it is not he who finds peace. Such a person already has peace in the soul. But now, one who considers this devotee, who has, even though he is seemingly doing something wrong, abominable activity, if an outside person, he sees him, he says, oh, he's a devotee, he's a very good person, even though it looks like he's doing wrong, but because he's a devotee, he's a good person. This outside person appreciated, he did not find fault, he says, no, he's a devotee. One who says that this person is still a sadhu, that person will immediately kshipram bhavati dharmatma sasya shantine gacchati. If I am seeing some devotee doing wrong, but still I consider him as sadhu, immediately I'll attain peace. I'll become a devotee. That is, he will become dharmatma very soon. He become righteous. He says that he does not mean the person who is devoted to Krishna, but a person who, despite the fact that he sees that this person is committing disgusting act, but sees that he is a devotee, does not try to impose on him the format of worldly morality. He's not seeing based on worldly morality. He's seeing still a sadhu. And if he considers him a sadhu and does not try to insult, such a person very soon finds peace and very soon becomes a sadhu. So this is how Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains. Yamuna says, yes, thank you. Then he says, the stone from my heart fell. I'm very peaceful. They all go down to Bhaktivinoda Thakur and they all say, thank you very much. And we have dispelled this doubt. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself, actually, he gives this another part is about his genealogy, from where Bhaktivinoda Thakur line ancestors. Then it directly ends up with who is the son of Brahma, like that. And his genealogy, it says that it ends with Chitragupta, Yamara's scribe, and Bhaktisiddhanta explains that no case should we think that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is an ordinary person, because what he did was impossible for anyone else. This is the statement by Bhaktisiddhanta. Now, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur explained that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is very, very great philosopher and also preacher of Bhakti. Now, people say Bhakti is Shreyas. It is a benefit for in a long run. How it benefits a person in a long run. This is Shreyas. But Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained this thing in two ways. It is Shreyas also and Preyas also. So that is a speciality. And 1 minute. So prayers means something pleasant, and there is something pleasant in bhakti. And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, this is a very important thing. He says that people who they say that karma is prayers, jnana is prayers. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says it is both prayers and shreyas, because bhakti can immediately satisfy the senses. And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur says whoever considered bhakti as shreyas is an atheist. He does not really understand bhakti, because bhakti can make a person happy here and happy in the future. We chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his preaching was also so many, I think 300 Nam Hattas he started. It's not actually possible humanly. And now the bhakti is shreyas and praise. Bhakti is all the best that a person can have. Even in the material sense also, it is the best, because people who make this separation, they in the end are very unclear. They are not clear about what is bhakti. Anyway, we'll not go into that part, but he gave a proper explanation. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, many manuscripts of Bhaktivinoda Thakur have been published, but they are lost also. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote for the highest intellectuals. And he went from house to house in the local villages, and he started three and they actually many preachings, many books he wrote, and so many for children and all. But so many things we don't have now, unfortunately. One last thing we'll see. This is a very important thing. Lord Chaitanya, he did not come here to free a handful of Hindus, a handful of people of India. Chaitanya's goal is to free all living beings in all countries, in all the entire universe, and to preach the eternal dharma of living entities. And Lord Chaitanya says that his name is Sri. In every city and town, his name will be chanted. And that time when Bhaktivinoda Thakur appeared, there was no society of pure Vaishnavas in the world. And this prophecy word of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says that this will be fulfilled in few days. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I am completely sure that this can be fulfilled in few days. There is nothing absolutely pure at the beginning. It refers that, but out of imperfection, purity will certainly come. And sometimes people say like, because initially it will be imperfect, but it will become pure and very strong in the future. That's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, and he predicted it will happen. And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur says, the wife of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhagavati Devi, she also desires that this women should spread. And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said, because my mother desired, and she is a pure devotee, Krishna will fulfill that. So that was the and he only sees that very soon, unparalleled path of Harinam Sankirtan will spread throughout the planet. Bhaktivinoda Thakur predicts this. About this day when happily English, French, Russian, Germans, Armenians come here playing mridanga and chanting Jai Satchinandan Gaura Hari. And anyway, there will be so many things. We will come back to our syllabus. There are very nice things we can discuss on Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And last part of Bhaktivinoda Thakur is also very nice. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one last thing I'll tell. He wanted to, at the age of 40, he wanted to come to Navadvip. 45 days he becomes sick. It's completely bedridden. 45 days. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur tells, oh, so many impediments are coming. That means something good is going to happen. Why Krishna has to keep Bhaktivinoda Thakur sick? And that was the regular symptom of him. He used to regularly become sick. And even though he was very regulated, basically Prabhupada writes also, the sickness which we are getting is because of our irregulated habits. That's all. If you are regulated, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the most regulated person. Why he is becoming sick? Krishna wanted it so that we can teach us. Anyway, thank you. We will just read few purports, which is very important, not what Prabhupada is telling. Oh, Brahmana Narada, the superseer, so Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. So we should pray to him, take his blessings so that we can understand. Especially holy name, he has so much glory. Actually, unlimited glorification we can do. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the one because of which we are all doing these things. Brahmana Narada, the superseers. Now here is the conversation between Brahma and Narada. Superseer. The transcendental Lord is beyond the perception of material senses of the living entities because of the above mentioned three modes of nature, but is control of everyone, including me. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has declared very clearly that the impersonalist who gives more importance to the transcendental rays of the Lord as Brahma Jyoti and who concludes that the absolute truth is ultimately impersonal and only manifests as a form at the time of necessity is less intelligent than the personalist. However much the impersonalists may be engaged in studying Vedanta, the fact is that such impersonalists are covered by the above mentioned three modes of mental nature. Therefore, they are unable to approach the transcendental personality of the Lord. Lord is not approachable by anyone because he is curtained by his Yogamaya potency. But one should not wrongly conclude that the Lord was formerly unmanifested and has now manifested himself in the form. This misconception of the formlessness of Supreme Personality of Godhead due to Yogamaya curtain of the Lord can be removed only by the Supreme Will. As soon as the conditioned soul surrenders unto Him, the devotees of Lord who are transcendental to above mentioned three modes of mental nature can see the all blissful transcendental form of the Lord with their vision of love in the attitude of pure devotional service. And he says, by his own potency, the Lord who is control of all energies thus creates eternal time, the fate of all living entities, and the particular nature of the natures the living entities have accepted for being created against before they have independently merged into him. This is also very nice point. Prabhupada writes that the creation of material world within the condition, wherein the conditioned souls are allowed to act subordinately by the Supreme Lord, takes place again and again. Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. And then Prabhupada explains all this Mahatattva, how the souls come, and how the Lord allows the conditioned souls to play as they like and thereby create their own fate by being differently created again in terms of their independent desires at the time of annihilation. So then he gives how the creation and creation takes place. And then Prabhupada that the whole material or even the spiritual creation is a manifestation of energy of Lord, just as the light and heat of fire are different manifestation of fire's energy. Like that. And Prabhupada right, Narayana exists separately apart from the impersonal creative energy. The whole creation thus merges within the body of transcendental Narayana at the time of annihilation. Is the Paramatma feature of the Holy Universe. And Kala Guna Vetikaraha Pari Nama स्वभावतः कर्मणोऽजं महतः पुरुषादिस्थित अभूत. This is after the incarnation of the first Purusha, Karanavasaya Vishnu, the Mahatattva, the principles of material creation is generated. So now from here, the creation is explained. So he told about the living entities and they appear because of their desires. Now he's telling about the material creation. He told about living entities. Now he's telling about the whole creation. Here Brahma is explaining to Narada Muni. Living entities are because of their desires. That is very clear from the last verse. Whatever our desires, we get the type of bodies. Then about the creation, he talks about Karanadasha Vishnu. The Mahatattva, the principles of material creation is generated, and then time is manifested, and in course of time, the three qualities appear. Nature means three qualitative appearances. They transforms into activities. So there is Mahatattva, then there is Sutra Tattva, then there is Ahankara Tattva. So all these things are manifested like. So that is explained here. Prabhupada, right? By the omnipotency of Supreme Lord, the whole material creation evolves with the process of transformation and reaction one after another, and by the same omnipotency, they are wound up again one after another and converse in the body of Supreme. Kala, or time, is synonymous with nature and is the transformed manifestation of principles of material creation. So Kala is also nature and is transformed manifestation of principles of. As Kala may be taken as a first cause of all creation, and by transformation of nature, different activities of material world becomes visible. So material, what is Kala? The glance of the Lord is also called Kala, because of which everything is happening. So in that way, we can say this is a time only, like matter and time combination is work. We have matter. Now we have spent some time. That means some activity happened. This is how we understand. But it's a very important concept to understand that Kala is synonymous with nature as and is the transformed manifestation of principles of material creation. Kala may be taken as a first cause of all creation because Lord glances on it. That's why it starts. Because there is initially that is called Pradhana. When Lord glances on Pradhana, immediately it becomes agitated. It becomes Mahatattva. And it loses the balance. That's why in this material world, nothing can be balanced. Because the whole creation started only from imbalance. And by transformation of nature, different activities of material world become visible. These activities may be taken as a natural instinct of each and every living being and even of the inert object. And after the manifestation of activities, there are varieties of products and byproducts of the same nature. Originally, these are all due to Supreme Lord. Vedanta Sutra Bhagavatam begins with absolute truth, Janma Adisya. And then he says, the next shloka says, material activities are caused by the Mahatattva being agitated. This is actually what happens. Of course, here, basically it means that the Pradhan is agitated because Mahatattva, and Mahatattva is an agitated state. At first, there is the transformation of mode of goodness and passion, and later, due to mode of ignorance, matter, material knowledge, and different activities, material knowledge come into play. This is what happens. So first there is a transformation of mode of goodness, passion, and later due to mode of ignorance, matter, material knowledge, and different activities. So very systematically this is explained by Brahmaji. We'll just do some more things. Material creation of every description are more or less due to development of mode of passion. The Mahatattva is the principle of material creation, and when it is agitated by the will of the Supreme, at first the mode of passion and goodness are prominent, and after the mode of passion being generated in due course of material activity in different varieties becomes prominent, and the living entities are thus involved more and more in ignorance. Balram is the representation of mode of passion and Vishnu is the representation of mode of goodness. Brahma, passion. So this is material nature is called mother, and the initiator for materialistic life is Father Lord Shiva. So this is a very important thing. For our body, father is Shiva, mother is Parvati. For the soul, mother is Krishna. Mother is Radharani, father is Krishna. Like all material creations by the living entity is therefore initiated by mode of passion. With the advancement of particular millennium, the different modes act by gradual development. In the age of Kali, passion is most prominent, and material activities in different varieties in different names of advancement of human civilization takes place, and the living entity becomes more and more involved in forgetting the real identity. This is a very nice understanding we need to have. In this age, things are more of passion, so we can see things in the direction only. By a slight cultivation of mode of goodness, a glimpse of spiritual nature is perceived. But due to the prominence of mode of passion, the mode of goodness becomes adulterated. Therefore, one cannot transcend the limits of material modes, and therefore realization of Lord, who is always transcendental mode of nature, becomes very difficult for living entities, even though prominently situated in mode of goodness through cultivation of various modes. The gross material elements are Adi Bhutam. Their maintenance is Adi Daivam, and the initiator of material activities is called Adhyatma. In the material world, there are three principal acts as prominent features, namely, as raw material, its regular suppliers, and its use in different varieties of material creation for sense enjoyment by the bewildered entities. Prabhupada can give so many things in one purport. Prabhupada, right? In the material world, there are three principal acts as prominent features: raw materials, its suppliers, and its use in different varieties of material creation for sensing. We'll just read this last one. The self-centered materialistic ego, thus being transformed into three features, becomes known as the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance in three divisions, namely the power that evolves matter, knowledge of mental creation, the intelligence that guides us materialistic activities. Narada, you are quite competent to understand this. Narada is competent. We will just read this one para. Materialist ego, or the sense of identification with matter, is grossly self-centered, devoid of clear knowledge of existence of God, and this self-centered egoism of the materialistic living entities in the cause of their being conducted by the other paraphernalia and continuing their bondage of material existence. In the Bhagavad Gita, this self-centered egoism is very nicely explained in the 7th chapter, verse 24. The self-centered impersonalist, without a clear conception of personality of God, it concludes in his own way that the personality of God takes the material shape for his original impersonal spiritual existence for a particular mission. And this misleading conception of Supreme Lord by the self-centered impersonalist continues even though he is seen to be very interested in Vedic literature such as Brahma Sutras and other highly intellectual sources of knowledge. This ignorance of the personal features of the Lord is due to simply to the mixture of different modes. That's all. Impersonalists, they are affected by the mode. That's why they cannot understand the personal form. The impersonalist thus cannot conceive the Lord's eternal spiritual form of eternal knowledge, bliss, and existence. The reason is that the Lord reveals the right of not exposing himself to the non-devotees who, even after a thorough study of literature like Bhagavad Gita, remains as impersonalist such simply by obstinacy. The obstinacy is due to the action of Yogamaya, a personal energy of Lord that acts like an aid de camp by covering the vision of the abstinent impersonal. Such a bewildered human being is described as Muda, or grossly ignorant because he is unable to understand the transcendental form of Lord as being unborn and unchangeable. If it were true that the Lord takes a form of or material shape form, his original impersonal feature, then that would mean he takes birth in changeable form, impersonal or personal. But he is not changeable. This is a very nice purport. Please do homework. Please read this again. Nor does he even ever take new birth like conditions. The conditions may take a form, from birth after birth due to the conditional existence in matter. But the self-centered impersonalists, by their gross ignorance, accept the Lord as one of them because of self-centered egoism, even after so-called advancement of knowledge in Vedanta. The Lord, being situated in the heart of every living entity, knows very well the tendency of such condition souls in terms of past, present, and future, but the bewildered condition souls hardly can know him in his eternal form. By the will of Lord, therefore, the impersonalist, even after knowing this Brahman Paramatma feature of Lord, remains ignorant of his eternal personal feature as ever existing Narayana, transcendental to all creation. So this is because of self-centered egoism. Even after reading also they don't understand. And last thing, this is also nice. The cause of such gross ignorance is constant engagement by the materialistic man in the matter of artificially increasing material demands. So this is also another reason. If we are so much doing material enjoyment, we cannot understand Krishna as a person. This is actually what is happening to the general people now. To realize the Supreme Personality of God is to purify the materialistic senses by devotional service, the mode of goodness or the Brahminical culture recommended in the Vedic literature is helpful to such spiritual relation. Thus, the Jnana Shakti stage of conditioned soul is comparatively better than the other two stages, namely Dravya Shakti and Kriya Shakti. The whole material civilization is manifested by a huge accumulation of materials, or in other words, raw material for industrial purpose, and the industrial, that is Kriya Shakti, and gross ignorance of spiritual knowledge. In order to rectify this great anomaly of materialistic civilization based on the Dravya Shakti and Kriya Shakti, Kriya Shakti is the activities that are done. Dravya Shakti is the ingredients. Kriya is the activity. One has to adapt the process of devotional service. Okay, thank you all very much. We'll meet tomorrow.